Hello everyone, welcome to Mr. Little Stories. Today I've got a story for you that someone does not want you to read. This book is actually called Don't Read This Book. It's written by Jill Lewis and Deborah Allwright, and it's all about a king who does not want you to read it. So he gets pretty angry, but I hope you'll follow along. It gets a little bit confusing, but it's all good fun. So I hope you enjoy it. This is Don't Read This Book. Don't read this book. Stop. Don't read this book. Once upon a time, on a dark and stormy night. Stop right there! Once upon a time, absolutely nothing happened whatsoever. I'm commanding you to go and read something else. There is no story here. But someone had started reading now, hadn't they? Yes, and I do mean you. The king phoned his story writer. What do you mean it's not ready? I was promised a new story, and a new story I shall have. The king needed to find his story writer fast because he had the feeling he was being watched. You again? Go away, or I'll fling you in prison. The king met his story writer. Ah, there you are. My new story is meant to be starting right this minute. Where is it? I had some notes, but I've lost them. I do have the title, sire. Well, half the title. I had it on this piece of paper here, you see, but it's torn. The Princess and the something? What kind of title is that? Where can we find the rest of it? The story writer thought hard. Well, I've just come back from Beanstalk Crossroads. I was sitting there thinking, it might be there. What are we waiting for? Let's get on with it. On the way to Beanstalk Crossroads, the king and the story writer tried desperately to think of the title. Was it The Princess and the Incredibly Handsome King? No. Was it The Princess and the Amazingly Clever King? No. Was it The Princess and the Unbelievably Brave King? No, sire. Sorry, sire. While they were thinking, a certain someone was still reading. Yes, I do mean you. Your Majesty, someone is watching us. Don't look. Keep your eyes fixed to the front and keep on riding. If you turn one more page of this book, I will throw you in the dungeon. Can't you see there's no story? Go away! No, wait a minute. My notes. Well, some of my notes. I found them. Hurrah! Well, just get on with it, man. What do they say? It starts with a storm. Good, I like a bit of drama. And then there's this princess. I think we'd guess that for ourselves. Any other characters, like a handsome, brave and clever king, for instance? Oh yes, your Majesty. There's definitely a king in this story. Well, it wouldn't be a good story without one. And what about the story? What's going to happen? The writer looked around him. There were no more pages. What was he going to do? Is this what you're looking for? Fee, fi, fo, fum. The next 2 pages. Yippee! We need, let me see, a queen, and a prince and 15 mattresses and We certainly don't need any of that nonsense. Where are we going to find 15 mattresses? I think Red Riding Hood's grandmama might have some spare ones. They raced to Grandmama's cottage, where they thoroughly confused the wolf. My, Your Majesty, what fine clothes you have. What smart shoes you have. What a big crown you have. Yes, enough of that. We need some mattresses and we need them now. Get out of bed immediately. Suddenly, the writer came running in. I found my notes. We just need one more thing. I thought you were never coming. So now we've got everything. We've got all the characters and the beginning and the middle and the end. This is so exciting. It's fantastic. Oh, be quiet. Look, we've run out of space. We can't tell the story anyway. I am not pleased. My, what a big problem you have. And we still don't even have the title. Wait, I have an idea. We can tell it on the last pages. But we'll have to be really quick. Oh, and the title, I found that too. It's The Princess and the Pea. Once upon a time, on a dark and stormy night, a princess was struggling through wind and rain to reach the castle of her beloved. But because of the storm, the king, who incidentally was both handsome and brave, and the queen of the castle did not believe that such a wet and messy girl could possibly be a princess. So the queen, having taken the advice of her very wise and good-looking husband, decided to set a test. So she asked the royal cook for a pea and slipped it beneath a pile of 15 mattresses on the bed prepared for the princess. When the next morning the princess complained that she'd not slept a wink because of the lump in her bed, both the king and queen, whose cunning and brilliant plan had clearly worked, knew she really must be a princess, because only a princess could have been so delicate. On hearing the good news, the prince immediately proposed to the princess, and the prince and the princess were married, and they all lived happily ever after. The end. Phew. What? Are you still here? It's your bedtime. Go away. And don't you dare read this book again. The end. Oh, that really was a strange book. Lots of fun characters though. I hope you enjoyed this. It was called Don't Read This Book.